For example, word segmentation, which I explain it for you, and building POS tagger. POS tagging for of Arabic text ambiguity needs to be resolved by POS tagger through the use of a statistical language model developed from Arabic corpus, but unfortunately Arabic is still missing well corpora to apply such useful tool for Arabic. Vocalizing Arabic text. Arabic language has two kinds of vowel. Long vowel, which are written as normal letter, and short vowel, which are written as punctuation mark above or below letter. Search engines, text-to-speech engines, and text mining tools are just some examples of applications that need Arabic names to be vocalized before being processed. Building a stammer. Arabic language is in need for building a stammer in NLP to be used for effective information retrieval. Also, Arabic language present agglutination of articles or letters, prepositions and conjunctions at their initial position, as well as the word final position. It lacks a good stammer. Word sense disambiguation for information retrieval. Also, recorded information usually is retrieved by means of stored data that represents documents. It is the emphasis on information relevant to a request rather than direct specification of document that characterizes the modern subject of information retrieval. Consequently, information retrieval or IR system as data retrieval tools are very important. However, in Arabic language, the word sense and disambiguation is one of great reasons for poor performance of these systems and their lack of access to the satisfactory level. Text data mining. Text data mining as a multidisciplinary field involving information retrieval, text analysis, information extraction, clustering, categorization, and linguistics is becoming of more significant, and efforts have been multiplied in studies to provide for fetching the increasingly available information efficiently. Due to the Arabic language lacking of corpora, it is difficult to display textual content and quantitative data of Arabic. The International Corpus of Arabic, which is ICA. Corpus-based approaches to language have introduced new dimension to linguistic description and various applications by permitting some degree of automatic analysis of text. The identification, counting, and sorting of words, collocation, and grammatical structures which occur in a corpus can be carried out quickly and accurately by computer, thus greatly reducing some of the human drudgery sometimes associated with linguistic description and vastly expanding the empirical basis. Linguistic research has become heavily reliant on text corpora over the past 10 years. Due to increasing need of an Arabic corpus to represent the Arabic language, and because of the trial to build an Arabic corpus in the last few years were not enough to consider that Arabic language has a real, representative, and reliable corpus, it was necessary to build such an Arabic corpus to support various linguistic research on Arabic. Bibliotheca Alexandria, or BA, is one of the international Egyptian organizations that plays a noticeable role in disseminating culture and knowledge, and in supporting scientific research. It initiated a big project to build an international corpus of Arabic, a real trial to build a representative Arabic corpus as being used all of the Arab world to support research on Arabic. The goal of ICA, the International Corpus of Arabic, or ICA, is planned to contain 100 million words. The collection of sample is of a written modern standard Arabic selected from a wide range of sources, which is designed to represent a wide cross-section of regional variety of Arabic. It is stimulating the first systematic investigation of the national variety as being used all over the Arab world. ICA is a step-by-step guide to creating and analyzing Arabic linguistic corpora, demonstrating those corpora have proven to be very useful resources for linguists who believe that their series and description of Arabic should be based on real rather than contrived data. This paragraph is very important, and it gives you some information about ICA, and you should know this information about the size, about the matter, and about the structure of the ICA. Planning the construction of ICA. A corpus is not simply a collection of text. Rather, a corpus seeks to represent a language or some part of a language. The appropriate design for a corpus therefore depends upon what it is meant to represent. The representativeness of a corpus in turn determines the kinds of research questions that can be addressed and the generalizability of the result of the research. It is important to realize that representing a language or even a part of a language is a problematic task. We don't know the full extent of variation in language or all the contextual variables that need to be covered in order to capture all variation in text. However, attention to certain issues will ensure that a corpus is as representative as possible. Given our current knowledge of language, in planning the collection of the text for ICA, a number of decisions related to corpus design, such as representativeness, diversity, balance, and size, were taken into consideration. Some sources of text were determined. A variety of different genres of writing would be gathered for inclusion in the corpus. It is about the ICA. Each genre would be divided into text samples. A careful record of a variety of variables would be kept, including when and where the texts were written or published, where they were books, articles, or net articles. A decision related to what the properties between different sections and genres in a corpus have been taken. Such decisions were taken upon how common the genre or source is. A decision about how many categories the corpus should contain, how many samples the corpus should contain in each category, and how many words there should be in each sample were taken into consideration. Some discussion of the size in corpus design focuses exclusively on the number of words in corpus. However, issue of size also relate to the number of texts from different categories, the number of samples from each text, and the number of words in each sample. Enough text must be included in each category to encompass variation across authors. Here you can see some features of the ICA. Before the text to be included in a corpus are collected, annotated, and analyzed, it is important to plan the construction of the corpus carefully, what size it will be, what type of text will be included in it, and what population will be sampled to supply the text and will comprise the corpus. Ultimately, decisions concerning the composition of a corpus will be determined by the planned uses of corpus. To explore the process of planning a corpus, the following section will consider the methodological assumption that guided the compilation of International Corpus of Arabic, corpus design and compilation. It is important to realize that the creation of ICA is a cyclical process requiring constant evaluation as a corpus is being compiled. Consequently, we are willing to change our initial corpus design if circumstances arise requiring such changes to be made. In corpus design and compilation, a lot of decisions were taken into consideration to reach the basic goal of ICA. Sources and genres included in the ICA. The ICA contains a diverse range of sources. Some of these sources are divided into other sub-sources. like press, newspaper, magazine, general, specialized, which is two type of magazine, general and specialized. Electronic press, net article, books, academic sources. In press, texts were compiled from principal daily newspaper in different Arab countries. Egypt, Saudi Arabia, you can see the newspaper here. Qatar, Jordan, Iraq, Palestine, UAE, Dubai, Arab magazine published outside the Arab world. You can see the newspaper, for example, CNN, Al-Qaid, Al-Aman. The main focus of the compiling text was to cover the same genre from different sources in all Arab countries. So it must be noted that the Arab countries in Table 2 are not the only countries to be included in ICA, rather they are the countries included. So far the rest of the Arab countries will be added. The ICA also contains a diverse range of writing genres. Some of these genres are divided into the other subgenres. You should know everything about ICA because it is very important and it is very comprehensive. You can see the genre strategic science, which its subgenres are politics, law, social science like economics, sociology, sport, religion, Islam, Christianity, other religions, comparative religion, literature, novel, short stories, child story, plays, poetry, studies of the literature, linguistics, humanity, which is the study of literature and linguistic, history, psychology, philosophy, geography, and natural science like biology, and applied science, which you can see its subgenres, art, biography. Design criteria. In designing the ICA, some sources and genres were determined according to the following design criteria. The design of Corpus identified the common source and genres of the written text. The design depended primarily on sources of text, and in each source there were some genres. This design will make the search in text more economic and easier. Connecting the text to convey all regional variation of the Arabic language was the basic interest in the design. For example, newspapers were planned to convey a wide range of sources from different countries. These newspapers tried to exemplify the principal daily newspaper. Table 8 showed the first version classified according to the text that will be compiled. Source of text, which can be newspaper, you can see their genres: politics, art, literature, culture, science, history, economy, religion, sports, sociology, and others. Magazines, which can be religious, sports, sociology, history, science, culture. Novel, which is fiction, child story, religion, play. Book, which is art, religion, sport, literature, and others. Net article, which you can see them in politics, art, history, sport, religion, and academic, which is sciences. You can see the first classification of the ICA. The text once the text representing genres were actually began to collect, some problems were contradicted with the classification in table 4 were faced. They are not important. Okay, you can see here the modification, which is I don't want to mention them. And here we can see the current document hierarchy of ICA. For example, there are 4 sources all over the corpus: press, net article, books, and academic. Some sources are divided into subsources, namely newspaper, magazine, electronic press. There are 11 genres all over the corpus, which you can see them here. Some genres are divided into subgenres, namely politics, law, economics, sociology, Islamic, and others. This is important because according to these 4 parts, you can see the structure of the ICA. Figure 1, in this figure, shows one of main source or press in ICA and one of its subsources newspaper. In addition, it shows some of the genres and subgenres that were found in the ICA classification. Okay, one of main sources of ICA. ICA Corpus, you can see written, press, newspaper, strategic science, political law, social science, economic and sociology. Table 9, this table, show the percentage of words that have been collected until now. At this point, we must make a certain issue clear. These percentages are not final, as the collection of text is still under development. The sources and the subsources included in ICA written corpus, you can see them, the percentage of the word. For example, for press, we have such a written word. You can see the subsources. Okay, about the pre-processing stage is one of the stage for creating each corpus. There are a number of general considerations to bear in mind when beginning the process of computerizing the written corpus. The pre-processing stage is an important stage for the compiled text to be prepared to help in analysis and search process of the corpus. The collected text needs some pre-processing stage to be prepared. For example, HTML to text TXT conversion. Because the text to be included in a corpus will be edited with a word processing program, it may be tempting to save computerized text in a file format used by the word processing program, like for example doc. However, it is from the onset to save text in text format, since this is the standard format used for text included in corpora, and to use simple text editor to work with text rather than a standard word processing program. Stripping HTML codes. Some hidden characters that were found when HTML to TXT conversion happened need to be deleted, because such hidden characters may cause problem in both search and analysis stages. The stripping HTML codes in an important stage that helped in cleaning up any of these hidden characters from the TXT files. Coding file names, meta information. As you can see, their process. Editing stage. The editing stage deals with fixing spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes to prepare text for analysis. The text will spelling errors cause both of research and analysis problems. Most popular problem in spelling mistakes in Arabic are associated with the hamza or ya. Markup codes. Metadata is usually defined as data about data. For a corpus to be fully useful to potential user, it needs to be annotated. There are three types of annotation or markup that can be inserted in a corpus: structural, part of speech, and grammatical. You should know this three type of tagging, three type of annotation or markup, which is structural, part of speech, and grammatical. Here, the focus will be on the first type of markup. Structural markup provides descriptive information about the text. For instance, general information about the text can be included in a file header, which is placed at the start of text and can contain information as a complete bibliographic citation for a written text, or orthographic information about the participant, their age, gender, in a spoken dialogue. Within the actual spoken and written text themselves, additional structural markup can be included to indicate, for instance, paragraph boundaries in written text. In the ICA, there are some structural markup within each text, as table 11 shows. You can see some of the structural markup in the one of the text. It is the annotation of the text according to the structural level. For example, D means the beginning of the document, and when D comes D in this way, we have a D and a slash and D. It is the beginning of the document, but when we have D and the slash follow the D, it is the end of the document. and about when the capital T comes after the slash, it is the beginning of the title, and when it follow the word, it is the end of the title. P means when P follow the slash means the beginning of the paragraph, and when the slash comes after the P means the end of the paragraph. This Q means the beginning of the question, which follow the slash, and when the slash follow the word, it is the end of the question. Here you can see its example. Ica Software. A software is built to help researchers to interrogate the corpus. The Ica software is an application that is considered an adequate tool to help in exploring the Arabic language text. This section provides a detailed description of the available feature of the software. The Ica software provides an overview of the corpus and present all suitable information at the request of the researcher interested in authentic data about Arabic. Here at its current stage, the Ica software has the following capability. I just do to mention this capability. Insertion of document. You just name the probability and the capability of the Ica software. Which one of them is insertion of the document? Searching the corpus. Permissions. About the corpus map, the Ica software can display the hierarchical design of the corpus according to the currently selected node in the tree structure in this way. Okay, in this article we were familiar with the Ica, and we read we get some information about the corpus again. Please read this article please I emphasize on this article because it's very important and give you some information about the Arabic corpus, and for your final exam this article will be very important, and I can pose some question of this article and ask me your question about this session.